welcome to Suite 301, coming to you live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're here to give you all the news and updates around all our Colt Club sports leagues. Don't forget you can watch our Suite 301's episodes on our Facebook pages, our Suite 301 page, as well as our YouTube channel.
And remember to like our Facebook pages and follow our Twitter accounts for all the latest news and media. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel for videos around the leagues and to watch previous episodes of Suite 301.
All right, Christian, welcome back to the show. Happy February to you, although it's almost over.
It is.
Yeah,
Happy
it's the short month.
It is the short month.
Yes. As you can see from my attire, I'm in spring training mode. Right?
It's that time of year.
10 days from now, we head down to Panama City Beach. So we'll get into that later in the show. But let's dive right into some basketball. And welcome to the set, Matt Hazy.
Hello, hello. How is everyone?
What's up, Matt?
Doing good.
Some big news out of basketball, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. We just announced our national championship location. We are going back to Erie, PA, specifically the Joanne Mullen Gymnasium at the Haggerty Family Event Center up in Erie. So very excited about that.
And that's for the men's basketball
Yeah, that's for men's. Correct.
All right. Excellent. And phenomenal facility.
Yeah.
With, surround 360-degree viewing from the court, from any of the balcony spots.
Yep.
Fantastic facility. Great concessions there. We've partnered with that facility before for the use of their football stadium.
Okay.
Great spot. I think the teams are going to love what that brings to the table for them in that national championship for the men's side.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy for it to be back in Erie.
Absolutely.
And on the women's side, we're going back to Erie as well.
Yes, back to Erie for the women's. We are going back to Mercyhurst for women's, so same as last year.
Okay, great. Another good spot. That's where I spent all my time last year, was at the Mercyhurst facility, running working the scorers table for the women's championship. So I'm sure I'll be back to Mercyhurst again, and you'll be over at the Haggerty Event Center. Good stuff. But we're joined with a guest caller, correct? From Erie, Mark Jeanneret. Let's invite him to the show.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you guys?
I'm doing well, doing well.
Terrific. Now, Mark, you're with the Tourism Bureau there, the Sports Commission with Erie. We've had a long working relationship with you. I really enjoyed, I thought, our basketball championships last year were a success in Erie. Excited to be coming back again once again. We got a slight change in venue here on the men's side, switching from Gannon over to Haggerty. But why don't you talk to us about what that facility has to offer our attendees that will be joining us?
Yeah, obviously we're back in Mercyhurst again, and they did extensive renovations before last year's tournament, and completely revamped their building. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, Gannon is undergoing some massive renovations as well coming up this spring, which made us unable to go back there. But we were able to connect with the Haggerty Family Event Center. It's a first-class facility. You don't get much better than that. What can you say? I think it's a great facility for this event, and I'm looking forward to having you guys back again this year for the double championships, and put the pressure on you guys to make it a three-peat in 2024. But let's get through 2023 first.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. Now, for some of the teams who may be new, who didn't make it to the national championship last year, what can these teams coming in this year expect from the city of Erie? As far as restaurants, stuff like that, things to do.
Well, I think if you haven't been to Erie before, you'll be surprised. That's usually the reaction we get from people. We're a lake city. Our bayfront is fantastic with hotels and convention centers and restaurants. It's everybody uses the term it's a hidden gem, but really there's a lot of people that travel through the south side of the city on I-90 that have no concept if they would drop down into the city and take a look and see what's going on. We've heard that time and time again from event organizers. You can get off on Peach Street, and that's the retail area with all the big box stores and all the restaurants. We've got about 4,000 hotel rooms in our community as well. But really the place to be is down on the waterfront, and it shines in the summer. It's pretty cool. in the spring and the fall as well. Winter is your typical Pennsylvania winter, but we still find time to do some ice fishing when there's ice out on the bay, and all the winter sports that you would think. But I think it's going to be a great location for your athletes to come and hopefully some of their families to experience.
Awesome, Mark. And then I know you were there last year for a little bit, but could you tell us a little bit about your experience with coming to both of the events last year?
Well, I was lucky enough to pop into one of the early round women's games up at Mercyhurst, which I thought was great. And then I came down to Gannon, and I think it was triple or quadruple overtime, which was a fantastic game, and caught bits and pieces of both the championship games as well. And I was surprised by the caliber of play. It's club basketball, so I don't know if I came in, what my perception was coming in, but certainly there were some great athletes out there and some great basketball to be watched. Excited to have it back in this year.
Awesome, Mark.
All right, Mark. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for bringing Erie, supporting our organization and being so eager to bring us back to Erie. It's a great town, and we've had a great relationship with you and your sports commission fellow members there. Definitely, you guys make us feel at home, and we love it when we get to come up to Erie.
Thanks, Andy, Christian, Matt, and Alec. I know is probably watching. Looking forward to having you guys back up here.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
We'll see you real soon. All right, good stuff. So back to Erie we go. New venue for the men's, but they're going to love it. Absolutely, they're going to love it. Let's move on to what next?
Top 20.
Top 20.
20.
Let's do the men's top 20.
Absolutely. So with the top 20, USC Cardinals stays in that one spot. This is their second week in a row there. Virginia Tech actually falls out of the top 5 to 6. UCLA makes a big leap from 17 to 5. Penn State also moves up into that third spot. And then Vermont goes from unranked, jumped up into that 17 spot. So some small shakeups other than that in the top 20. One team dropping out. But, starting to really solidify and come around here late in the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see the SoPac back involved and, having two teams inside the top 5. They're going to be battling for that coveted spot to go to the national championship. So definitely love to see it. And it's two big names as well.
Yeah.
So good stuff there.
Both doing very well.
All right.
What's going on? Season updates. How's the season going thus far?
Yeah, season's going really well. I actually just solidified a regional spot for the Mid-Atlantic. We are going back to the campus of Virginia. It will be the North Grounds Recreation Center. And then if you didn't know already, we are also going back to Bradley and the Markin Family Event Center, I believe, for the Great Lakes. I am still finalizing the other 4 locations, but those should be announced here in the coming weeks as well. As far as that goes, season updates, everything's going well. Teams are playing, getting games in. Starting to come down to the wire to see who's going to be clinching spots here very soon.
Yeah.
We have no clinchers yet, though?
No.
Oh, wow. All right. Good stuff.
That's exciting. That's what you want.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's very tight.
Yeah. We'll keep battling, boys. We'll see who makes the playoffs.
Yes, absolutely. Housekeeping items. Anything that teams should be looking out for this this time of year?
Absolutely. So if you didn't know already, dues are due actually a week from today. So if you are one of those teams out there who have not paid their league dues yet, please reach out to me if you need your invoice resent. I can definitely do that for you as well. If you haven't played any spring conference games yet, which there are very little teams who haven't, please make sure you're getting your signed academic rosters to me before you play those games as well. Other than that, that is about it.
Beautiful, man. Great job, Matt. Thanks for all your work.
All right. Good stuff. All right. We're going to transition over to the women's side and run through that top 15.
I am I'm the understudy here. Got Alec a little under the weather right now. I'm going to be doing my best to go through some of this. Top 20 here. We got Villanova in the top spot. But right behind them, Boston College earning 3 first-place votes. UMass, Ohio State, Sacred Heart rounding out the top 5. I do know the next Titan top 15 poll will be coming out this Thursday. So be on the lookout for that.
Okay. Good stuff.
We also have, we talked about Matt, nobody's clinched yet on the men's side, but on the women's side, we do have several teams that have clinched a spot. As you can see there, Indiana, Ohio State have clinched a playoff berth, not any seeding yet, but they are in the postseason in the Great Lakes. As far as the Mid-America, we have SIUE clinching that number 1 seed. And then finally in the New England, UMass won the conference. They clinched a playoff berth, as well as UConn and Montclair State. So congratulations to those teams. They'll get to participate in the regional tournament coming up at the beginning of April. And also, opportunity to play for a national championship berth. So be on the lookout for that.
That's the goal for everyone, right? Get yourself in the dance, and then dance
see what happens. See what happens. And as far as housekeeping items go, I think the same thing Matt mentioned on the men's side. Dues are the big thing coming up in a week. If you're unsure if you have not paid yet, you can reach out to Alec or even myself. We can track down that information for you. But continuing to get roster or academic letters in. If you haven't gotten your academic letter in for the spring portion of the season, that's important as well. So other than that, if you have any questions about anything regarding NCBBA basketball, you can reach out to Matt or Alec, and they'll be able to help you out. So,
all right, good stuff. All right, we're going to move on to a brief commercial break, and we'll be back with some more Club Sports updates. See you soon.
The Game is the official headwear sponsor for Cold Club Sports. They offer our team's quality headwear, such as hats, visors, boonies, and beanies for a great low price. All items are customizable to meet our team's needs. Contact Felicia.Battaglia at coldclubsports.com for all of your headwear needs.
Rawlings is the proud uniform, equipment, and ball sponsor of the National Club Baseball and Softball Associations. Teams receive up to 45% off on all their orders. For more information, including catalogs and price quotes, contact our front office today.
All right, welcome back. And hey, we're going to dive into the NCBA baseball portion of the show. And I welcome to the set Eric Curatore, VP of Baseball Operations, and Jimmy Henderson, Director of Division II Baseball Operations. Welcome to the set, guys.
Thank you.
Your mic is on
It
now.
is on now. There we go.
There
How we
we
doing,
go.
fellas?
So, good. Hey, we've got some big announcements to
We do.
make in terms of World Series. It seems to be the theme of the show. We just announced the basketball championship sites. Let's dive right into announcing where the D1 and D2 World Series are going to be.
Let's do it.
D2 first?
D2 first. Oh,
Put you on the spot.
yeah. We are going to Alton, Illinois at Lloyd Hopkins Field.
There you go.
Home of the Alton River Dragons in the Prospect League, and I think I got word today that they put their signage up and they are practicing and playing baseball games for the year on there.
We're going to confirm here in a second with Dallas Martz, the general manager of the River Dragons, but I believe today is day one. They have a game today. Not them, the local college, excuse me. So the field is his first day for games. So it's exciting, yeah. It looks just like it is in that picture. It's got all the signage up. They're working on a beer garden down the line. It's got an awesome video board. It's got a radar gun on it. We're excited.
All turf facility.
All turf facility.
Right.
Sandy and myself took a site visit down last month, or 2 months ago, excuse me, and yeah, it was nice. It was a great little town.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it with Dallas here in a second, but I think it's going to play well for D2 and D1.
All right, so I guess that's what you're leaking that information. The D1 is going there as well.
I guess
huh?
I just did, yeah. So Division 1 will be going to Alton, Illinois as well. The press releases are out. The websites are updated. But yeah, we're excited. We haven't been in the same location since
only
probably,
once
I think
before,
once
right?
in Columbus, Georgia,
Columbus,
back
Georgia.
in 2011 or 12. So it's going to be great. We're going to get the momentum off D2 into D1, so the city will rally around both events, and I think it's going to be a big hit for the town.
And I think it's good to tell our viewers a little bit about our site selection process. We poll the teams what matters to them, what's so important, and it has changed over the years. 15 years ago, teams told me, "Hey, we want to play." That was back when we were down in Florida playing in spring training, MLB spring training stadiums, and the team said, "Hey, we want to play on fields that like the big guys played on." The major leaguers did their spring training here. Those are the kind of facilities we want. Our recent surveys, the teams have started to say, you know what, we want to be kind of middle of the country, equal distant for everybody. Instead of getting, a little just skewed chasing the specific type of venue, we want to chase a specific type of geographic location. And so that's where Alton, Illinois checks some major boxes for us. Turf facility right in the center of the country, just outside. Alton, you say, what's Alton, Illinois? It's a suburb of St. Louis. I mean, it's 25 minutes
yeah.
north of downtown St. Louis, Missouri. So, I mean, there's going to be great airport access right there. Great nightlife, great things to do away from the ballpark. So Alton checked all those boxes for us. So
well said.
So you want to bring Dallas on?
Let's do it. There he is, Dallas Marks, ladies and gentlemen. General Manager, Alton River Dragons. How are we doing, sir?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. It's great to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's great to see you as well. I got Eric here, Sandy, and Jimmy all on set, and we were just talking about the news about both World Series events.
Well, we're extremely excited about both of those events here coming to Alton, and the whole town's still buzzing. It's a great baseball community. Lucky enough to be part of it. Going on my third season now here in Alton, and we just can't be more excited about having you guys join us this spring.
Yeah, and we were just talking before you got on set. Do you guys have games today out on the facility?
Yeah, I'm actually up in the press box right now. We have Lewis and Clark playing Shawnee Community College. This game was originally supposed to be at Shawnee, but they have a grass field, and we've obviously got the turf here. So they moved the game here to get them in, and it's about 58 degrees outside, lots of sunshine, and they just completed game one and about ready to get game two going. So an exciting day here at Lloyd Hopkins Field.
Fantastic, and I think that's a good transition. Could you just touch on the field a little bit? What the teams can expect, what families can expect?
Yeah, well, you're not going to find a better playing surface in the entire country. This is just the second year of our brand new turf field. Just put new turf on the pitcher's mound, so that's all fresh and ready. And it's one of the most unique settings in baseball, if you ask me. The River Dragons, we play in the Prospect League. It's 17 teams in the league, and I don't think there's a better atmosphere in the entire league than what you find here at Lloyd Hopkins Field. And this year, we, as you mentioned, we've got Lewis and Clark playing their home games here. We've got a local high school that plays their home games here, and of course, you guys are coming, and we host probably close to over 100 14 and 16 and under games here as well. And then you throw the River Dragons into that mix, and we're playing out here almost every night of the week in the summer, with the exception of our road games. But it's definitely a busy time. I think I totaled it up. We'll have close to 300 baseball games on this field in 2023. So it's a great facility, and it gets better each and every season that we've been here. And the way things look right now, by the time you guys get here in May, we could have some very exciting news to share with you guys. We've had some great talks with some local city officials, and we could be on the verge of doing something pretty big out here, and we can hopefully share some more details about that come May.
Yeah, that's awesome. We were just talking to how Sandy and myself came down there a couple months ago, checked it out, checked all the boxes. It's a beautiful facility. It's got a lot of character to it. It's unique. Like I was saying, I think it's going to play well for both events. But for those who are not familiar with Alton, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. What can we expect from the city of Alton? What's there to do away from the park, and what can people be expecting away from the field?
Well, like you guys mentioned earlier, we're only 25 minutes from downtown St. Louis, about the same distance to the airport from here. But Alton itself has got a lot of great things to offer. We have all types of different flavors of restaurants and bars and nightlife around town. Alton is the home of the world's tallest man, Robert Wadlow, and there's a display, actually a life-size statue of him here in town, and that's always kind of a fan favorite. And then you've got there's a Fast Eddie's Bon Air here in Alton. That's kind of world known, so a lot of people come to Alton just to check out the nightlife. And as you guys saw when you guys were here in December, we've got a great downtown area with great bars and restaurants and entertainment, and there's just all kinds of things. We have our riverboat that's downtown with the casino, and not too far away, a little town called Grafton. It's a beautiful drive from Alton up to Grafton. It's all along the river. Grafton's a nice little tourist type town, lots of different bars, restaurants, and little shops, and that's always a great little getaway if you want to journey out of Alton a little bit. That's only about 25 minutes, and you won't find more of a beautiful drive anywhere along the Mississippi River than between Alton and Grafton for sure.
Dallas, it's Sandy Sanderson. Good to see you again.
Yes, sir. Good to
I'll
see
tell you. I'll tell you what. Our trip up there 2 months ago, you really impressed me with, what that town has to offer in terms of fun. I mean, obviously, you got a great baseball surface. The teams that are competing are going to have a first-class experience on the field. But they're going to have a first-class experience away from the field, too, which is big for us because, a lot of our teams, you win game one, win day one, you get day two off, especially at the D1 level. There's lots of downtime to get out and explore. And it seemed like every mile and a half you pulled the car over and said, we got to stop in here and check this place out. We got to stop in here and check this place out. And they were all winners. I mean, great wings, great food, great craft beers. I don't remember the names of all the places you took us to. But maybe that's because you took us to so many. But it was really impressed with how much fun can be had in that town.
It is. I've only lived here a little over 2 years now, and that was one of the biggest things that's impressed me the most is all these different types of places to go around town. And what really makes these places are the personalities that are in there. All the bar and restaurant owners are right there at their facility all the time, and they welcome you and just they appreciate you guys coming, and it's just. It's just a very unique atmosphere, and I think it's really going to catch a lot of people off guard when they get here and they start visiting these places, and they won't want to come here just once. It's just a great place, and it's really hard to put in words and hard to describe, and you just got to really experience it like you guys did when you were here, and it's a gem along the river for sure.
And speaking of craft brews, the River Dragons have their own craft brew, right?
Yeah, we have the River Dragon Radler, and that we should have on our shelves before you guys get here in May. So we're excited about that. Just met with them the other day, so they know you guys are coming, and we'll make sure we have some of that for you. But this will be the third year we've had that beer here at the ballpark and different restaurants and bars around town. So we're excited about that, and definitely looking forward to cheers in one with you guys.
All right. And talking about upgrades at the ballpark, Eric touched on it. That there's a beer garden being built down the right field line. That was in progress as we were there. How is that progressing? I mean, I just thought it was so neat that there's so many different patio options, party decks, things like that, where people can get a different view of the ball game other than just sitting in the stands behind home plate.
Yep, the new beer garden you guys mentioned is down along the right field foul line near our right field bullpen. That's going to be completed by May 1st, so that'll be done in plenty of time for you guys. They actually start working on that again here in a couple of weeks, and that's just going to be a really cool spot to watch a baseball game. And then, as you mentioned, we've got two other party decks that are already established, one over the first base dugout and one over the third base dugout. And those are two great vantage points to watch a baseball game. And what I like about the party decks is they actually have a bar rail right across the front of them, so you can actually sit there and have your drink right there in front of you and have a baseball game going on in front of you. So it's very unique, just a terrific place to watch a baseball game.
Now, up close and personal baseball. Wear your glove in the stands.
Just in case.
All right, good stuff.
That's all we got for you, Dallas. Hey, we really appreciate you coming on, and just talking about this is getting us excited. And even though we're 3 months away. So, it'll be here before we know it. And go ahead.
No, it'll be here in a hurry. It just amazes me. I'm sitting here watching, my first baseball game in person of the year, and there's many more to come between now and the time we see you guys. But we're definitely excited to have you guys here, and the whole city of Alton will be excited to have you.
Fantastic.
Well,
I'm sure we'll be talking more soon. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks, guys. It was great to see you. Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dallas.
All right. Good stuff. So, Alton, Illinois, D1 and D2. But, hey, COVID's in our rearview mirror, so we got D3 as well.
I like that transition.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, let's make that announcement as well.
There we go. Let's get it on the front screen here. All right, Division III, we are heading back, is not the right way to say this. We are going to Pullman Park. Our Division II event was there last year for those who NCBA enthusiasts out there. But, yeah, it's a great facility. It's just north of Pittsburgh, about 45 minutes. Turf infield, grass outfield. It's got a nice little grandstand, as you guys can see in that picture, hell of a press box. It played awesome last year for our Division II event. Jimmy can speak to that in a second. But I think it's going to be a great facility for Division III.
Yeah, and Eric's touched on it. I'm sure it was in the press release. There's a lot of history there, right, with the Yankees minor league system and everything else. It's a great facility. They take good care of us up there. Dean does a great job. That event should run smoothly, and I think the Division III teams will really enjoy what they get to experience for who makes it there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sandy.
I was going to say, talking about geographic locations.
I was just going to say that, yep. Perfect.
Pullman Park, D3, again, we're just first year back after it getting shut down for a few years due to COVID. It's predominantly an East Coast, Northeast-based league. Very few teams in the Midwest, in the West, or down south. So it sits right in the middle of the teams we do have. So it is a great geographic location, easily accessible for all the teams that are playing Division III NCBA this year.
Yeah, well said. I was just going to say the same exact thing. It is perfectly centrally located within the whole league. We even looked at a map, and can't get too far off than that. So, and it's a great facility. It's got all the bells and whistles we need. We've got a great relationship with them from hosting events there prior. So I think it's going to be a great event when the time comes.
Good stuff.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Let's dive into the Division I top 20 results. What do we got?
All right, so you can see on the screen here, defending champ Florida State is the almost unanimous number 1, 4 points away. Cal Poly and Utah State are also getting first place votes in the 2 and 3 spot. Penn State, Michigan, East Carolina, LSU, Connecticut, Virginia Tech, and Nebraska running out the top 10. Wasn't a whole lot of change between this poll and the preseason poll, but I expect a lot of movement in the next one, which is coming out this Thursday. Florida State dropped a game this past weekend to Tennessee. East Carolina dropped a game to North Carolina off the top of my head this past weekend as well. A lot of these other teams were in action, so I expect some decent movement, which will be coming out on Thursday. So,
okay. Well, then let's dive right over to Jimmy and the Division II top 20.
Yeah, kind of the same theme here. Not a whole lot of movement from our preseason poll, but consistent with Division I. We definitely expect that to change here soon, especially once we get some games down in spring training underway. We're waiting on the snow to melt and everything else. But rounding out the top 10, Grand Canyon, World Series champion from 2022, followed by Cal U. New team Syracuse, they've been impressive. They're 11-1. It's their first year back in the league for a couple years, and I think they're definitely going to have a target on their back, coming as the favorite of the New England region as it sits right now. Moving on to number 4, Penn State, another 2022 World Series team. High Point, Missouri S&T, same thing. SUNY Cortland, Ohio State, Millersville, and Grand Valley. All those, if not most of them, are regional teams from last year.
Look at Air Force, big jump.
Air Force, big jump. Arlington Baptist, big jump. Another first-year team in the league. Corps Cadets, big jump by just taking care of business in their first series of the year. So here in next week we'll have the next poll coming out and see who else can make a big jump or who's going to fall out.
All right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and then I'll bounce it right back over to Eric to talk about the D3 top 10.
Yep, so here's the top 10. George Washington's in the 1 spot. Oakland, Maine, Saginaw Valley, and Milwaukee School of Engineering round out the top 5. This is predominantly from the fall. All these guys played in the fall, and they don't really pick up until later this spring because most of the, as Sandy mentioned, Division III is New England area, Northeastern, Midwest. So a lot of these guys are not touching baseball field until a couple weeks. So the next one will be coming out first week of March, so just keep an eye out for that.
All right, good stuff. So then, housekeeping items. What do the NCBA teams need to be worrying about right now?
Want to take the lead?
Sure. Rosters in. A lot of teams that have played, obviously you have those in. If you have not, you got to get them in before your first games, or you are at risk of probation or forfeits and other disciplinary actions. So make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time to get those in. You don't want to wait until the week of or a couple days before to try, as the schools can take several days to get those academics checked. What else? I wanted to touch on non-conference games. As at the Division II level, you have to play 1 to be eligible for the postseason. Division I, you have to play 3.
Yep.
We've sent emails out. We talk about it on Suite 301. Don't let that fall under the radar. Don't wait too long to try to get that game in.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. A lot of people forget about that, and they try and get it last minute, and everybody's schedule's already booked. They're doing makeup conference games at that point. It's going to be hard for you to pick up a game late. Division I, you need 3 completed games. Division II, you need 1. Division III, you don't need any, so don't worry about it. But it's big for those non-conference games requirements to get played out early just so you can focus on your conference games, which should be the priority late in the year.
All right. Good stuff.
Other than that, postseason info I think we want to touch on. Really, I guess, just utilize the websites. You know, the postseason tabs, World Series pages, the info tab's great for, you know, rule books, documents, all that good stuff. But, you know, utilize the website, stay up to date, follow the scores. Everything and more can be found on there.
All right. Great stuff. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Excited to have that Alton, Illinois announcement and all the World Series locations announced. It's going to be a great postseason this year, as always. Moving on to some Swing in the Spring Panama City Beach information. Our big announcement, you know, the teams are set, the schedules are out. We leave 10 days from now to head down to Panama City Beach, but we do want to announce we have secured 4 local sponsors on board. That the teams will be receiving a VIP card upon their arrival, which they can show at these sponsors for discounts. California Cycles is a big popular spot in the Panama City Beach, especially on the main strip there. I think they have 7 or 8 locations along Front Beach Road. What they do is they rent little motor scooters, mini motorcycles, golf carts, and then these, I think they call them slingshots, which are like a 3-wheel vehicle. They're real popular there. People like to rent those, drive up and down the strip, bounce around to different restaurants rather than taking Ubers or walking. So teams are going to get 10%. I believe it's 10% off their rentals through California Cycles. Check out their website. Lagoon Pontoons. One of the hidden gems of Panama City Beach is a place called Shell Island, which is only accessible by pontoon boat. People love to load up coolers, rent a pontoon boat, and take a day on the water and cruise over to Shell Island, pull up. You know, some people I think set up campfires there and have picnics and tailgate kind of thing over at Shell Island. Anyway, Lagoon Pontoons is offering discounts. I believe it's $20 off any pontoon rental there. Beef O'Brady's, a big favorite spot there. Just a restaurant, bar, and grill there. Great food, great wings, great beers. Good for team nights if you want to do a team dinner. It's a good spot there. And probably our most popular sponsor last year, Domino's Pizza. They have 3 locations in town, and they're offering specials on like large one-topping pizzas. I think they're $8 a piece. But they have all kinds of, it's Domino's. They've got all kinds of options. They've got nice salads. They've got sandwiches too. But they I think were a little bit surprised by how much pizza our club baseball teams and club softball teams could go through in a month. So they were eager to come back on board and support us and give that late night option or hey, we're leaving the field, let's grab some Domino's, take back to the hotel. Glad to have them on board as well too. Moving on to Swing in the Spring, Nevada, the
Henderson.
The Henderson option for those West Coast teams. Unfortunately, normally we would bring Alec Verhoff on to talk about it, but he's under the weather today. So just want to go through some current matchups, key matchups he's got. That schedule's out over there in Henderson, Nevada. Some big matchups he's got scheduled already. UCLA and Grand Canyon. UCLA is ranked 13th. Grand Canyon is 14th. And both are expected to have very strong seasons. They're going to square off in Henderson in next month. Utah State and Oregon. Utah State was at the World Series last year, off to a strong start, getting some first place votes in the top 20. And Oregon is currently ranked 12th after starting the spring with a non-conference sweep. So those are 2 teams that are going to match up tight in the NOPAC region, and they're going to square off in a non-conference game there in Henderson as well. And last but not least, Arizona State, UC Santa Barbara, 2 SOPAC teams. Both had strong 2022 seasons, and both are finished their year near the top of their conference. They expect to be a big matchup there. 2 quality opponents facing off in Henderson in some spring training showcase fun. All right, those are the matchups for the West. All right, we're going to take another commercial break, and we'll be back in just 20 seconds to get into some softball updates for you. Stay tuned.
Rawlings is the proud uniform, equipment, and ball sponsor of the National Club Baseball and Softball Associations. Teams receive up to 45% off on all their orders. For more information, including catalogs and price quotes, Contact our front office today.
Getting jammed up here.
All right, we're back, and we're going to dive right into some NCSA softball updates. Christian Smith's back on set with me. I know you missed him, but we're also going to welcome back Lacey Lautner to the set. Lacey, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to Suite 301.
Thanks.
Why don't you take us through a little bit of NCSA updates here? What's going on with the top 20?
I'll take that over.
Okay.
Virginia Tech leading the way there. They're the number one spot and have been since the preseason polls came out in the fall. But reigning national champs and also staying in that top position from the start. Sacred Heart Red, the only team in the NCSA that has clinched a spot in the playoffs thus far, coming in at number 2, playing a really extensive schedule in the fall and picking up even more games. So they got a lot of games on their schedule and undefeated in conference play. And I want to say they're almost undefeated, or they are undefeated in overall play. So hats off to the Pioneers, the Sacred Heart Red team, Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Air Force rounding out the top 5. But a lot of really good teams in that top 20. Right now, at this point of the year, the teams down south, South Atlantic area and Southern California area are the only teams really playing just due to the weather. So not a ton of shake-up with the majority of our teams coming from outside those areas, but a lot of play being or happening right now. So should be a shake-up in next month's poll, which will come out at the beginning of March. Next Thursday. So
Good stuff. All right. Well, there's some big news on the regional location sites. Why don't you take us through some updates on where this year's playoffs are going to be held?
Yeah, we got all the regional locations locked down. You can find those on our regional website, on our main website under regional playoffs, under the postseason tab. But going through there, a lot of these are familiar names that teams will know about, but the Great American and Great Lakes both happening in the same spot in Elkhart, Indiana, at the Riverview Softball Complex. In the Mid-America portion of the country, going back to Overland Park, Kansas, and Blue Valley Recreation Complex, which Lacey Lautner will be overseeing, and just working with her, know how great of a facility that is, and really excited to be going back there. In the Mid-Atlantic, we're excited to be moving that to a really centralized location for the Mid-Atlantic region in Bridgeport, West Virginia, at a really nice facility called the Bridge Complex. So we're really excited about that. And then New England, North Atlantic, both happening in the same location in the Echo Field Complex in Danville, PA. And then Pacific will be back in Yuba City, California at Blackburn Tally Park, and then finally South Atlantic will be back in Clemson, South Carolina. So I think 7 out of those 8 are going back to the exact same spots they were last year, the only change being the Bridge Complex for the Mid-Atlantic. So those are all finalized. Everything is updated, including host hotels for all those locations. So if you have any questions about those regional locations, you can again go to the postseason tab and see all those details. But all regional playoffs taking place on April 29th and 30th. And I've had a few teams. I think in or at least last year, regionals were a week prior. This year we moved those regionals back, and it's a good thing that we did, just because the weekend prior to regionals is that built-in makeup weekend, and I guess it's an unfortunate situation that we have to use that region or that built-in makeup weekend, but it's certainly a necessity. So we're thrilled that we're able to kind of move that regional date back a week to accommodate those teams in conference play. So April 29th and 30th will be all the regionals, and then on May 1st we'll know all 16 teams participating in the NCSA World Series. So
excellent.
That's right on the horizon. So
not far away at all.
It is not.
All right. Well, one of the big announcements recently in the NCSA is I'd say it's been a long time coming that we've announced that NCSA Division II will be launched for the 23-24 season. That is official, and excited about it. I think it's been a long time coming. We had a plan to execute that. Unfortunately, the COVID halt set us back, but we've been able to, thanks to the help of Lacey and growing the league with the recruiting new teams, we've achieved the numbers we need to be able to launch Division II, and that will be coming in 23-24, and I believe we've already got some teams signed on for it.
Yeah, and we'll toss it to Lacey to talk about those new teams, but like as you said, we're really, really excited to offer D2 in 23-24. We've announced this. We have a D2 website out. Teams that have joined, the new teams that have joined are all in Division II locations, where we anticipate Division II regions to be. So all 5 of those new teams are going to be are listed on the D2 website. But yeah, we're really excited. A ton of positive feedback from our current teams. I've had teams even before we announced this come up to us and say, we're just not able to compete on the field with these other teams, and it's kind of the morale of the team is low. So this Division II will allow teams to immediately compete for conference championships, regional championships, and even a national championship. So it has a lot of positives to go with it. We're really, really excited about it, and I'll let Lacey kind of go over the 5 new teams that we've brought on just thus far.
Yeah, so we had 5 new teams join within the last month, which is really good. So the first team to join was Salisbury University, and then to follow them was the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. Those 2 teams, they signed up right away, had no hesitation. They were really excited for D2. Then to follow, we had 3 other, the University of Toledo, University of West Georgia, and Villanova. Like I said, all these teams are really excited to, compete in the Division II league this upcoming season.
Now, I've heard some other teams have reached out already and said, hey, now that you have D2, we're going to put a second team in the league, right?
Yeah.
We've heard that already?
Yeah, and Sacred Heart being a prime example, they already have 2 teams, but they want to put their second team, Sacred Heart White, in Division II. But Wisconsin, another team that reached out individually and said, we have so many girls that come out for tryouts every year, that we don't have a place for them, or we can't start another team. Well, this allows them to field another team and put them in Division II. So they're talking internally about making that happen. But just a lot of positive words from teams, about how excited they are, because it's certainly we've tested it. Not tested it, but it's on the baseball side of things, and we've seen the benefits of having, Division II and Division III. What it does for the Division I, it solidifies it, and certainly, a few years down the road, you see it on NCBA D1. The conferences, there's very little realignment that happens at the Division I level, which breeds conference rivalries and things like that. So it not only is a good thing for Division II, but it's also a good thing for Division I. And teams will have the ability. It's not like once you're a D2 team, you're there forever. Once you succeed, or you show that you can succeed, or you even want to petition to move up to Division I, certainly shoot us an email. We'll take a look at the resume, so to speak, and see if it is a good fit for you to move up or even to move down. So it's exciting stuff. We hope all the teams are excited about it, and a lot more to come. I know we have Lacey, the early discount is. We have another early discount period going on right now.
Yeah, we do. It's the early discount period. We're offering $200 off your new team registration fee. So it's originally $400, but now it's discounted to $200 until March 4th. So if you guys are interested, do not hesitate to reach out to Christian or myself, and we would gladly give you more information on that.
Okay.
Good stuff. Yes, I agree. I agree with everything you just said. Like, the D2 is going to do wonders for the NCSA. I think it'll explode growth in the future. It's going to open up opportunities for D1 teams. It's going to open up opportunities for D2. It's an absolute win-win, and I'm excited that Lacey was able to grow the league big enough this year that we could make that next step. It was a goal we've been chasing for a number of years. To wrap up the softball side of things, what housekeeping items do we need to be addressing right now?
Dues, those are due at the end of this month, which is a week away. So I know we have the vast majority of teams have already paid, but I think there's a handful that still owe. If you need to know if you still owe, please reach out to me, and I can let you know if you do or not. But other than that, right now we have the roster removal period going on. That's been posted to our website, social media. We have important information email going out to teams later today or tomorrow discussing that. But if teams want to remove players, they can remove up to 8 for any reason. But it has to be before starting now through the end of February 28th. So if you want to do that, you can certainly remove players, but it needs to be a document signed by your club sport director and 2 of the team officers, along with the players you want to remove, and we will take them off the roster, which will provide some roster flexibility should you need it. So that's something to keep in mind. That's a week-long period, and again, ends February 28th. Other than that, not much going on.
All right. Good stuff. Well, thank you both for the updates on softball.
Yes, of course.
All right. We're going to move on to the football side, NCFA football side of the show, and close things out. 2 big items to announce is, first of all, earlier at the beginning of the month of February, the 2022 academic All-American teams were released. You can see those on the screen there. These student athletes, we love to be able to congratulate students for their work in the classroom, not just on their field. The athletic All-Americans were released back in December, or maybe it was January. No, it was December. But now we're honoring those who succeeded in the classrooms with 3.0 GPAs throughout the NCFA season. And you can see them there. There's the defensive side of the group. And there's our specialists, academic All-American specialists, our kickers, our punters, our returners, things like that. So, again, this is all available on the NCFA website. If you click on the tab for All-Americans, you can download the entire academic All-American list there as well. The other big item to announce for the NCFA is the league meeting has been set. It'll be Tuesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. The league meeting will take place via Zoom call. All the teams should have received the link to that. It's encouraged that they have at least one not administrator, but officer attend that meeting to have their voice heard. There'll be lots of talks about postseason formats, potential rule changes for next year. There's talk about bringing back the fall kickoff event in the future. So Dave Mogensen will be spearheading that meeting. If you have not yet received the link to attend that meeting, be sure to reach out to Dave and get him to email you that link. 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, a week from today, February 28th. Big meeting. Important to be there. All right, that concludes everything for this month's show. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for being you and loving the sport you play. All right?
Fred Rogers over here.
Won't you be my neighbor? All right. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Next episode is March 7th at 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Facebook Live. Join us to catch up on everything that's happening around Call Club Sports.
And don't forget, it's a game.
Have fun.